So I want to welcome Feng Ming onto the stage now, please, Feng Ming. So Feng Ming is UNISDR's Asia Regional Representative, and she's now going to share some thoughts, reflections from a UNISDR perspective, but also from her own experiences of being a very close supporter and friend of GNDR. So thank you, Feng Ming. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcos, for your great introduction. I don't think we can claim it. I do this.
I might to,
we'll use this one here.
yeah, maybe just have to speak very. Yeah.
First of all, I have to say I'm very impressed by the participation of the civil society. I think that actually is itself is a great encouragement for change. Change the way we are doing business, especially in humanitarian and development field, in the context of post-2015 agenda. I have a habit, so sometimes I go, elaborate points, so then I take more time than I'm allocated to. So I prepared a few points, and then I will go through it quickly. And after that, if you have questions, and then we can discuss it. The title here is Challenges and Opportunities for Civil Societies. Despite my great respect to the work of civil society and to your help to the communities who need it desperately sometimes after disasters. And I actually personally had no experience working with civil society. Just a few opportunities actually on very short period working with civil organizations. I have to say, I have learned a lot from you. Each time I participate those field work, and the very recent ones in the Philippines, I was just thinking, if we transform all these international organizations into such a dynamic, locally based organization, just imagine how much resources we can mobilize to use that to address their needs on the ground. So with that, I just want to say that despite my great respect to you, but I'm not in a position to actually underline the challenges. But I may say a few opportunities. But I believe I read this document twice, and I believe that it's very well written. Using this as a guidance and develop concrete, comprehensive work plans, and to achieve it. And with that, I think we can demonstrate we together can make the change on the ground. So with these few words, I will not address challenges, but rather I just go through a few points I prepared, which I think are useful to share. Let me first, I want to thank the organizers of this event for inviting UNISDR Regional Office to attend this meeting. As you know, UNISDR, which is built what Marcos just said earlier, attach great importance to the partnership with the civil societies, both at the international level, like a tier fund. I found a lot of their publications on policy guidance are quite good. And also, I think with community-based civil societies. And this is also reflected in the fact, as Marcos said, that UNISDR together with UNDP South-South collaboration, which is very much Zaneda and Wilson, who is well known among the civil society, that together we actually try to help to initiate this establishment of this global network. But I think that clearly Marcos and together with all of you made it tremendous progress. It's really impressive to see how it grows today and how big you are and cover every corner of the world. And secondly, maybe some of you do not know, our new boss, and Dr. Robert Glaser, who is originally from civil society. So one of these days, you can become the chief of the UN organizations. And I think that is really inspiring by the fact itself. He is mainly from the civil society. He has worked as the Secretary General of the CARE International, and also as a CEO from the CARE Australia. So UNISDR, in reality, and we really appreciate greatly the contribution of the civil society to the ongoing implementation of Sendai framework. I think this very act is one of them, but just touch global level on local actions. So personally, I really feel honored to speak at this important event where a new strategy will be shaped for the further, shaped how to implement that, in other words, for the GNDR and the civil society organizations at large, to work together in supporting various post-2015 development agendas, especially the Sendai framework, the SDGs, and the Paris Agreement on climate change. All these global agendas emphasize one common area or common theme. That is the importance of addressing the spectrum of risks, which is vital to strengthening the resilience of communities and nations and achieving sustainable development. So in what is significant and a positive shift, these various agendas acknowledge and cross-reference each other. They look at the underlying risk and vulnerabilities, as well as the variety of cross-cutting issues. So let me just refresh your memory with a few examples. The first is the Sendai framework targets to reduce mortality and the number of people affected by disasters. These are both part of the SDG 1. Second, the resilience to disasters and climate-related extreme events are both part of SDG 2. So you see, disaster risk reduction is closely linked and affect how we can achieve sustainable development agenda. And thirdly, the SDG 11 calls for an increased number of cities and human settlements adopting and implementing integrated policies and plans towards mitigation and adaptation to climate change and the resilience to disasters, which is the essence of Sendai framework. The essence of the Sendai framework is to achieve risk-resilient development. So in other words, Sendai framework is a development agenda. Clearly, sustainable development cannot be achieved without successful management of disaster and climate risks. In other words, successful implementation of Sendai framework paves solid foundations for achieving the SDGs. The civil society organizations have played a significant role in DRR as well as other development areas. And the CSOs actively contributed to the formulation, of the post-2015 agenda, and the role of civil societies is better recognized than ever before in the global agendas, especially in the Sendai framework, which is anchored in the all of society and the inclusive approach to disaster risk management. Why? What has happened to trigger this change of attitudes? In my view, Road to Sendai, I just give a regional example, Road to Sendai and the Sendai Spring movements are powerful examples of how civil societies, when working together for a common cause, can have unprecedented outreach and great impact. And of course, this very network, the global network for disaster reduction, is another example to the point at a global level, which helps to shape the guidance. And this organization, with a representative of Marcos, is actually helping to shape the global guidance for the implementation of the Sendai framework among civil societies. And this is very important. And here you are working together and how to influence the work at a local level from different countries. So now, with all this success, the question is how the CSOs in general and the networks like GNDR in particular will further maximize your unique comparative advantages. Think about it. There are surely different answers, but I would like to highlight, using this opportunity, 3 points actually. And they are not necessarily new, but I believe important to make a difference. The first point is to how define your roles and responsibilities in the new context. Financial resources is a constant struggle, not only for civil societies, but also for other international or regional organizations. So what can be done? I have to admit that I really enjoy reading this strategy. And I think it's really underlined the key issues, and these challenges are well actually spelled out. But the challenge is how to implement this strategy and how to address the challenges that we need to think hard and think out of the box, out of our comfort zone. And I appreciate the 6 roles that the GNDR has identified that for the civil society organizations to ensure the impact of their work at the local level, namely implementers, capacity builder, knowledge provider, connector, monitor, and advocate. These are great. You can do a great job and reach those people who need this kind of help. You can empower them through an integrated approach of all these elements in your project. So these are all good. There is no conflict. And this reflects years of your experience and understanding what needs to be done at the local level. However, I would like to point out the context of your work has changed. Actually has changed a lot. Partially due to your contribution and your success of your work. Both government and communities at the local and national level are better informed and better connected. with the help of the modern technology. And I believe, especially in Asia, that working in partnership with governments and communities should further foster their respective ownership. So don't do it for them. Do it together with them and build the ownership and the leadership of your local actions. So this would open a way for more sustainable results with far-reaching impact. Beyond that, the old ways, we do it ourselves, we prepare everything, we give them everything. No, that will build dependency. Even for this, we require commitment from two sides. Commitment from those people who receive the support and the commitment for those who provide the support. In this way, we respect each other's role. We are equal in a way, but we have a division of labor. You help them to do and how to do it, and they have a responsibility and accountability to continue the work when your project money runs out. So that's provide the sustainability. The second point is how CSOs can better influence, shape, and lead the implementation of the global agendas through local action. The post-2015 provides a great opportunity for the civil society to make a better argument why civil societies can make a big change. But think harder, how you can make the change with the sustainability. So that, I think, is one of the challenge, is an opportunity. Challenge always provides opportunities. These come like twins. They never separate. So it depends how we pick it up, the challenge and opportunity. The post-2015 agendas, particularly the Sendai framework, provide opportunities to promote local actions and leadership. The CSOs can play an even a greater role if our actions is rooted in the dynamics of local, national, and regional contexts. With a well-defined set of targets and indicators towards quantitative and qualitative results. This is also not only implementation of your work, but by integrated approach of your 6 roles you identified. This can be well captured. It's a resources mobilization tool. So you have to link with your work, with every piece of things you are doing, is towards a bigger mobilization, enable you to do a bigger, even greater jobs in more communities, in a larger context. So these results, why is quantitative and qualitative? Because this kind of results demonstrate the value of accountability for both donors and recipient community. In my view, it's a way to show the value of accountability. The best way to show the value of accountability is a far-reaching impact of our programs on the ground. In other words, even we leave, like Zan and I, we just give a little bit of help for this. And after that, right after that meeting, it was led by Marcos. And he actually continued, let's do this way. We cannot take the people walk with us all the time, hold their hands. We need to leave the space for them to grow as well. So this is the way to achieve far-reaching impact of our effort. And also, is a continuation. By doing that, they can continue what you are doing, which you have not finished because your funds ran out. But they can help you to finish. You still can go back and support the way of your resources mobilization. So think hard and how you mobilize all the people who work with you, become the implementers together with you. That's create the added value, because you build ownership, you increase their capacity, you actually empowered them through knowledge as well. So to this end, building partnership is a key to build trust. And the trust is a key for CSOs to effectively influence, shape, and even lead the expected policy and the practical changes required for achieving this risk-sensitive and sustainable development at all levels. I think that is one of the challenges here. I think that has to be done through, the integrating all these elements into the programs. In terms of regional context, so now you are global and local. How we fill in the gap before you reach the global, you have to reach the national and the regional. How we make this a solid, connected? I think in the regional context, I would like to highlight our Asian experience. And we are working here with UNISDR. We are few people. As a part of the Secretariat, we are not implementing any activity. We're facilitating the implementation of the Sendai framework. We are not implementing. We are facilitating the implementation of Sendai framework. So who implement? You, government, and your partners, your receiving communities. So this is actually, we need to bring the local to our regional agenda. So therefore, I would like to inform you this year that we actually have the local action forms like an important part of Asia regional plan for the Sendai framework implementation. And that is due to agreed at the Asian Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction to be hosted by the government of India in November 2016. You are very welcome to participate and contribute, of course. National governments and the regional organizations are also being engaged to help to shape and define the priorities, actions at the local level. Because it's a way to start a dialogue. You need them to understand why local action is more important to build a resilience. You cannot build a resilience in a ministry in the capital. You have to do it at the local level. So therefore, I think it's a way to start to dialogue and to achieve better understanding of each other's important work. Secondly, we also encourage the civil societies to form a local leaders forum, which is being formed, and that is set to become a permanent part of the Asia Ministerial Conference for disaster risk reduction, and that will last for 2030 when we meet again somewhere in the world. So the third point, I try to wrap up quickly now. The third point is to strengthen the networks and the collaborative actions for greater impact. In Asia, the CSO's stakeholder group for DRR has formulated and during the implementation of the Hugo Framework of Action. But it is only one of the 10 stakeholder groups and that contribute to implementation of the Hugo Framework of Action. So, but they also subsequently and help to formulate the Sendai framework during the regional consultations and also generate voluntary commitment for Sendai framework implementation. So I think that their work touched different parts of our work in the region. The CEOs in Asia are increasingly working in partnership with governments as well as other stakeholders, and this helps to build a more coherent voice and deliver stronger collaborative actions. And that's also one of the reasons we have to have the local action there in our regional work. And I think you can make it happen in the national level, national way. This has been because they have built the credibility, trust, and the partnership in the region with both governments and other organizations and their own civil societies. But credibility, trust, and partnership are even more critical in the post-2015 context. And the value of coherence and accountability and the sustainability are further emphasized. So in other words, we cannot do business as usual. We have to hold others accountable and as well as our own work. This is basically the essential for the successful implementation and monitoring of the overall sustainable and resilient development. So in short, I want to wrap it up, then I can pick up some questions. UNISDR has consistently encouraged CSOs to continue their proactive and innovative tradition of working with communities, local authorities, governments, and other stakeholders. And we look forward to our continued partnership with GNDR, especially with many of you who have been very actively working in the region for the successful implementation of the Sendai framework for disaster reduction. Finally, I would like to invite you to actually join Marcos to contribute to the words into action. And that is a global guidance. So if you have a chance, please do look at our website. And I also leave this copy here. And you can provide, I think the best way for you is to provide your comments, consolidate your comments through the network. That's also strengthening your network. Talk in the same language, and that empower yourself as well. So with these few words, I just want to say thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to, if I can make a request, I'm sure there's lots of people burning with questions. Many of the points that you've raised, Feng Min, there are ones that we will be looking at and tackling this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon. So thank you for offering some of those challenges, some of those opportunities. But let me just check in. I just want to take 2, maybe 3 questions, but they will need to be brief if we are to continue our tour of the strategy and really explore that. So if I could ask, I'll take one here. Emma, if you could just grab a microphone there. And you will maybe need your translation equipment. Okay, so one question here, please. What we'll do is we'll take 2 or 3 at the same time if we can, Feng Min, and then I'll come back to you for some comments. Is that okay? Just to and there is Stu, maybe you could sort out some translation. Thank you.
Merci.
Okay.
Je tiens à remercier et féliciter Madame pour son intervention.
Sorry, just wait 1 second, and then just while we sort out the. Okay, thank you.
Je tiens à remercier Madame pour son intervention et toute l'aide fournie aux OSC. J'en suis une, c'est l'Association écologique de Boumerdès en Algérie, qui est donc lieu d'un grand séisme. Voilà. Cela dit, il y a une seule chose. J'ai beaucoup aimé ce qu'elle a dit. Alors, d'une part, on a l'impression qu'il y a la carotte et le bateau. D'une part, ils ont dit, OK, il faut vous prendre en charge, il faut qu'il y ait... mais il faut un partenariat. Madame sait que dans la démarche, justement, à la cité, il y a eu dans la durabilité des cassures. C'est-à-dire que nous n'avons pas rentabilisé un certain nombre de choses auparavant. Il faut d'abord, peut-être, donc dans cette dimension d'adaptabilité, de l'aide, de ce forum à mettre en place, comment travailler, de ce maillage, il faut peut-être justement redynamiser, reprendre, resituer la stratégie, redéfinir les concepts dans ce monde changeant où maintenant il y a de nouvelles catastrophes, la migration, etc. Peut-être à travers une plateforme, donc au niveau de cette régulation à faire. Voilà, donc j'ai compris qu'il y avait un oui, mais un peu peut-être, donc c'est très bien. Ce qu'il y a, c'est qu'il faut peut-être reprendre à partir de maintenant. Voilà, merci.
Okay, thank you very much. And question over here.
Hello. Hello, is this working? Yes. Okay, Colin McQuiston from Practical Action. I'd be interested to hear more about how civil society can engage in the words into action process. I know that the GNDR is leading one of the working groups, but how can the civil society be more engaged in those other working groups? I know we have the opportunity to provide comments, but there is a wealth of experience in this room. How can we actually feed into those working groups in a more substantive way so that our experiences and the experiences of the communities that we work with are fed directly into those processes? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And one final point from that table there, and then if we can come back to you, Feng Min, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, thank you very much for your speech. And we will ever be grateful to the ISDR for their support to GNDR for the past couple of years. I just wanted to know, is there going to be a continuation of the GAR, the Global Assessment Report for Evaluation? And also, are we continuing the global platform on a 2-yearly basis, or what is the step going forward? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, Feng Min.
Okay, thank you. With the first one, I understand there, there are a lot of needs, and there are emerging challenges. A lot of needs and emerging challenges. I think you talked a lot. Basically, it's your comment. And the question is, do we need to formulate another forum? My advice is, don't come to the conclusion to formulate another forum unless it is very clear and that is added value with where you are sitting to. And to see how this group, if you have any concerns, how this group can address the issue. And the thing is, the first thing, if you become a member of this network, you have a responsibility to make it work and to make it stronger, to make it visible, and to make it become an integral part of your national process for humanitarian issues and with their support. They support you, you support them. So you need to find out. That's why today I mentioned 3 houses. There are a lot of houses can be followed, but this is one of the houses. So to address the issue, we need to focus. There are millions of things, but doesn't have to be done by all of us. But we can advocate that while we focus on the main challenges, while we formulate this network. So I think that is very important, with a focus, and to achieve with concrete results, which can speak louder than our words. Thanks. Second one is how to engage in the work into action and how to participate in the working group and how to capture the expected experience. That's a very good question. Thank you. I think this is a part of the participation. As I said, maybe in UNISDR, we don't have many people who worked with civil society. So then the question is how you can formulate global guidance for civil society to implement. So therefore, your participation is crucial. is very important. It will make a difference in terms of quality. So therefore, I think one is to check our website. One is contact the Marcos and to see how you can contribute together. If not, that you can also contact UNISDR Geneva office, and the shortcut, you can exchange your business card with me. I will make sure that I link to the right person to you. And how to capture your experience, I think that is very crucial to address the lack of resources support. So I think probably it's time to work together to have, share the experience, repackage it in a way that in line with Sendai 4 priorities. In priority 1, what the civil societies had done well, which the world need to support. What we have done better in the second priorities. So this is the best way to link you with reporting process, with a regional process, and also with national process. And because you talk the same language they are using. So that I think probably right now, despite we are very busy, we try to capture the good practice of one. Is also civil society. It's a science and technology organization, institution. And why we do that? Because I took my weekend, I went with them to the field, and I was so inspired by their work, the result of their work. It's a great example to share with the world on how to actually take a coherent approach, integrate risk reduction, climate adaptation, and sustainable agriculture practice. Very impressive. So we are now 26, we are sitting together to discuss how we capture all this good practice to share the world. And the idea is to use the civil society example, concrete example, to actually advocate the coherent approach between among DRR, climate change adaptation and sustainable development. So please do and try to work together. I think that the thing is we need more leaders to support. You cannot only depend on the secretariat. They lead your support to the secretariat as well, and secretariat support your work. So there need 2 ways of communication. By working together, this network becomes stronger. So that is another one. The last one is GAR and global platform. GAR is in the process of review, and after that, they will decide either continue or actually unfolding the existing GARs. And that will be the decision after the review of the GAR. Secondly, global platform is well on the way in terms of preparation. The next one, again, this is a shared responsibility. The first global platform will be held in Mexico. If I'm correct, in May from 22nd that year. That's also the day I retire. So that is basically, I'm telling you, that is ongoing. Everything is on track. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Feng, for offering some challenges, highlighting some opportunities, setting out some of the many of the points of the discussion that we will be having later today. So thank you very much.
Thank you.